I still have nothing else to play, so here we go, Cat Girl Cafe. Oh fuck. I mean, I'm probably gonna upload these non-edited. This is great. I don't even have to. Oh no. Should I read it aloud? I mean, there is voiceovers. Alright, fine. I'll read it. Phew. This should be most of the boxes then. I wiped the sweat off my forehead with my arm. As the moving truck disappeared from view, although it was early April, and only the beginning of spring, today's weather was quite nice. It was even a bit hot. Well, it's a good day for a new start. I turned my head to look at the empty bakery, which didn't have any signage yet. The brand new exterior wall had a western look with a predominantly white and brown motif. There was also a large window which let lots of sunlight in. And finally, there was the words that displayed the name of the bakery. La Soliel. L'Île. L'Île. Le Soy. Fuck! Whatever. Instead of the proper French article le, it was la soleil, meaning the sun. This was a nod towards the name of the shop of someone I admired. Now that I'm on my own, I'll have to do my best, I softly murmured to myself. From here on out, no one would tell me what to do. I was going to start completely anew, despite the stature of my family's name and everything that had happened up until now. I alone would decide my path and take responsibility for what I do. In exchange for that freedom, I can't blame anyone else for what happens. Still, although I was a bit worried. The thought of what lay ahead of me break into a smile. Alright. Eat. What the fuck? In any case, I better get all these things cleaned up. I took a deep breath and got my spirits back up. I stepped into the new smelling bakery. Oh, I thought there was going to be more. Tadaima. What's with this big box? In front of me was a large box I didn't recognize. In fact, there were two of them. Fragile, delicate. Absolutely this side up. If thrown, your company will be in trouble. These warnings were going overboard. They were getting annoying. Even if these are baking supplies, I don't remember buying anything quite like this. First off, they were boxes that looked like they came from my house. If these were for the bakery, there's no way I wouldn't remember buying them. There were no tags from the moving company either. All there was those warning labels. Well, I'll know for sure once I open the... Achoo. Ore. Wait, actually, this is a good thing. If there's no voice dialogue for my character, then all I have to do is read my character dialogue. I'm not even good at reading, even though I managed to pass high school. I failed 11th grade English one time, and I had to redo it senior year. So, yeah, I'm not the best with English, but at least I could speak it and understand it. I think pretty much all you need nowadays is just to speak and understand the language. Then you can get through life. Alright, continuing on. Oh, it's just a cat, huh? Just a troublesome cat. Jeez.
よかった。ごまかせたみたい。危ない危ない。気をつけにゃいと。
Like that would fool me. What are you doing, Chocola? So apparently I know them.
お久しぶりですね。ご主人様。
We just saw each other at home yesterday, you know.
まあ、それはそうなんですけど。あ、それよりちょっと聞いてください。引っ越し業者の人たちひどいんですよ。
That fucking face is adorable. Oh shit.
ショコラのこと運ぶときにですね。この段ボール重いから気をつけろよとか言って。 思わずふしゃーって泣きそうになっちゃいました。ふしゃーって。一生懸命に我慢しましたけど、ショコラはプンプンですよ。プンプン。
Well, compared to the rest of my things, you are heavy. She ignored what I said. Chocola puffed out her cheeks. You could say that she was always happy-go-lucky. Or rather, she preoccupied herself with only what is in front of her. What was in front of her. Well, I guess that was how you would describe Chocola. While I was getting ready to move, I did wonder why I didn't see you. Ore? Oi.
お久しぶり、ご主人。引っ越し業者のトラックの中が埃っぽくて、鼻がムズムズつらかった。
Why is Vanilla here too?
ショコラがいるところ、それは私がいるところだから。それに、猫は狭いところは嫌いじゃない。あと私も、こっちの段ボールも重いから気をつけろよーとか言われた。 だから私もおこ。どうすか?
Again? In any case, Chocola, Vanilla, get out of here. Get out of there. I was at my wit's end with these large boxes that had suddenly shown up. Anyhow, Chocola and Vanilla got out of their boxes. Why is no one picking up the phone? Just what is Shigure doing? I hung up after trying to call my imoto. There was no way that Chocola and Vanilla could have gotten mixed in with the rest of the boxes in the first place. On the outside, cat girls look almost like humans. They can understand words and can talk just like us. But more than humans, cat girls were closer to normal cats. After all, cat girls had ears and tails just like cats do. They were genetically modified humanoid cats that were commonly referred to as cat girls. Yo, Elon Musk, you still want to do this? These days, cat girls fit into society, as pets and families are partners to humans. My imoto really loves to dote on cat girls. So our family has 6, including Chocola and Vanilla. In any case, they couldn't have mailed themselves all on their own. Mailing living things through the post would be impossible, for one thing. There's no way my parents would have helped with this either. Thus, I could only guess that this was somehow Shigure's doing. I see. So Shigure was an accomplice then.
新しいお布団とか家具の匂いとか好きですにゃ。思ってたより広い。ご主人の解消バッチリ。バニラ、あっちの部屋行ってみよう。探検。位置的におそらく寝室。きっと ご主人の新しいベッドがあるはず。いやー、それは聞き逃せないね。もふもふしに行こう。もふもふ。もふもふ了解。私もそれはいいと思う。
Okay, YouTube, please don't demonetize me or strike my video. But the jiggle physics are a little insane. Oh, let's lower that. Yeah. All right.
そうと決まればレッツゴー。
Don't get out of control and hurt yourself.
はーい。
Without any ill intentions, the two cat girls were off and running. Well, the bakery did have living quarters on the second floor, so I wasn't worried about them causing a ruckus around here. Of course, they aren't young cat girls anymore either, so I shouldn't have too much to worry about them getting out of control too much. Well, besides that, I looked up an address in my phone's address book. Minaduki Residence. Well, I already left Shigure a message, so she can call me back later. Without pressing the call button, I put my cell phone back in my pocket. I had moved out without saying anything, so for her to call me back within the day seemed a bit stupid. Well, it wasn't really an issue. I needed to bring up right this oh my god. Well, it wasn't really an issue I needed to burn up right this moment. I should hear from Shigure soon anyhow.
ご主人様のお布団、もふもふ完了であります。新しいお布団、すごくふかふか。合格点。
Good work, you two. Gosh, both of you have major bedhead. Sheesh.
ご主人様のなでなで大好き。気持ちいいです。苦しゅうない。もっと。
I tidied up their hair with a comb. Their soft hair felt nice as always. I lightly bonked both of them on the head when they had their eyes closed. Now then, why were the two of you hiding amongst my moving boxes?
ご主人様が連れてってくれないって言うから仕方なく。ショコラが行くって言うからノリで。
You had no choice. Just tagged along, you two. Well, I figured that had to be the reason, but anyhow, I recomposed myself and looked at the two of them again. Listen up, okay? How many times have I told you this? This isn't a vacation or a picnic. I moved out because I have no intention of going back there. If you were at home, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. Shigure and the other cat girls are there too. It would be better if you two just...
違うんです。これはお腹が反抗期なだけなんです。だから違うんです。本当に。朝早かったせいで朝ごはん食べ損なったから仕方ない。それにショコラはお腹の音も可愛い。
While listening to those silly excuses, I glanced at the clock and saw it was already past 1 o'clock. It's almost 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. Now that I thought about it, I haven't eaten anything since this morning either. Well, why don't we have lunch first then?
ご飯、ご主人様大好き。さすがご主人は話がわかる。かたじけない。
These two were as easygoing as always. Why'd I have so much troubles reading that? Animes need more eye catches. Those are the best right before a commercial.
お買い物
Hold on, I'm gonna save so I don't lose progress. Back. How long have I been recording? I've been recording 15 minutes.
様とお買い物にゃー
I'm probably gonna do an hour each episode.
最近はご主人が全然お買い物連れて行ってくれなかったからショコラのテンションが青天井にゃーバニラだって実はウキウキしてるくせにほーらほっぺふにふにしちゃうぞはいショコラくすぐったにゃにゃダメ
You'll bother those around us, so try not to get too carried away, you two. Since the refrigerator was empty, we headed to the nearby shopping district to buy groceries. From brand name clothing stores to supermarkets, there was an array of stores. There was even a drugstore with basic necessities amongst them. If you come here, we have just about everything. That's how the real estate agent had recommended this place to me. Wait, don't you two go shopping with Shugure often?
もうしぐれちゃんとご主人様じゃ全然違うんです、はあ、ご主人はほんとご主人たる自覚がなくて困るショコラが不憫
Hey, first of all, Shigure is your master.
しぐれちゃんもご主人様だけどしぐれちゃんはしぐれちゃんなんですだからご主人様はご主人様なんです全然違うでしょ
ね
理屈になってないけど熱意は伝わるさすがはショコラパチパチパチ
Never mind then. Anyhow, keep it down inside the store, okay? I parted from the two of them. I decided to hurry on ahead.
ご主人様シャンプーはこれがいいってしぐれちゃんが言ってましたよこれ毛並みがサラサラになるしすごく甘くていい匂いがする
But that's stuff you two But that's stuff for you two to use. I don't need it, so put it down and come over here.
ご主人様ひどいひどいぶった切りようですよしよしショコラ泣かないのご主人はひどい人だね
Don't just say that and then toss that in the basket all nonchalantly.
ガードが硬い
I had to be on guard, or they would sneak something in when I wasn't paying attention. They even tried to grab another basket for themselves at the supermarket earlier. It was apparent to me how dreadful an idea it was when they decided to come along.
ごめんなさいご主人様久しぶりのご主人様とのお買い物でテンション上がっちゃって猫は素直だから仕方ないねご主人も素直になればいいのにさ
It has nothing to do with being honest. I'm telling you, don't just put the shampoo in the basket like that. Put it back.
保証ですお願いしますご主人様何卒ショコラたちのシャンプーを買ってくださいシャンプーもない家に帰るのは悲しい猫的に油髪は気持ち悪いあの猫ちゃんたちシャンプーもろくに買ってもらえないのかしらかわいそうに猫虐待で通報した方がいいんじゃないのかしらあれ
Ore. Don't put on some act don't put on some act to confuse the customers around us. Seriously. We'd only just moved here, but suddenly, we already have disapproving glares directed at us.
主人様とのお出かけは楽しいです。思わずニャンニャン言いたくなっちゃいますね。ニャンニャン。私たちのものは何も買ってくれなかったけど、ご主人ケチ。
I'm not a cheapskate. Besides, I nearly got reported. After that, it was the same sort of exchange at the supermarket. The whole thing was awkward. The whole thing was so awkward that I don't think I could visit that shopping district for a while. Well, I guess you could say that was the cute side of cat girls.
あっちからすごくいい匂いがする。本当だ、すごく香ばしくていい匂いがします、ご主人様。
It definitely does. What is this smell? I turned towards the source of it.
いらっしゃいませ。美味しい出来たてのたこ焼きいかがですか？熱々で鰹節たっぷりのたこ焼きいかがですか？あ、猫のたこ焼き屋さんだ。珍しいですね、ご主人様。本当だ、小さい子猫ちゃんかわいい。
It was a cat girl younger than Chocolate and Vanilla. She waved her tiny hands as she politely drew customers in. In human terms, she looked like she was about 12 or 13 years old. In cat years, she was about 6 months old. The cat girls noticed us and ran over. The young cat girl noticed us and ran over.
猫のお姉ちゃんだ。私と一緒だね。にゃんにゃん。うん、一緒だね。にゃんにゃん。喉ゴロゴロしてあげちゃおう。ゴロゴロ。子猫は無邪気で超かわいい。半端ない。私はなでなでしてあげちゃう。なでなで。
すみません、うちの猫が。あの猫ちゃんたちの飼い主さん？
The owner of the food stand greeted us. Hi. Well, to be more exact, my little sister is their owner.
すごく可愛くてお利口な猫ちゃんたちだね。愛想もいいし、言葉もしっかりしてるし。うちのはまだ7ヶ月なんだけどね。もうちょっとしたらあんな風にちゃんとしてくれるのかな。
The food stand owner had a wry smile on her face. I don't know how to fucking say that. The food stand owner had a wry smile on her face. She was talking about a mischievous child of hers. Like she was talking about a mischievous child of hers. At a glance, it was understandable that seeing a young cat girl made it easy to overlook these things. Mine were originally strays, so I don't know exactly how old they are. The veterinarian said that they were twins and were now about 9 months old. My little sister is actually quite the education freak. Back then, they were really noisy, but it was all worth it.
しぐれちゃんがちゃんとお勉強教えてくれたんです。いい子になれるようにって。しぐれ厳しい。でもおかげさまでいろいろと覚えた。
そうなんだ。いいご主人様なのね。
あ、でもご主人様はご主人様なんです。しぐれちゃんはしぐれちゃんですからね、ご主人様。通訳すると、しぐれは大事な友達。ご主人って呼ぶのはこっちのご主人だけってことで。
愛されてるんだね、ご主人様は。
Well, I am grateful. She lightly nudged me with her elbow. I responded with an embarrassed, forced smile. Hearing this kind of stuff in public sure was embarrassing.
子猫ちゃん、ちょっと上向いてごらん。上？こう？つきあり。ゴロゴロゴロ。ゴロゴロゴロ。
The three of them were getting along very well. The food stand owner looked fondly at them from nearby.
うちの子ももともと野良だったんだよね。今日みたいにたこ焼き売ってたらお腹空かせて寄ってきてさ、そのまま拾って今じゃ自分の娘みたいなもんになってさ、店まで手伝ってくれるようになってね。人型猫が流行したこともあったけど、普通の猫の何倍も飼うのが大変だからね。
Her words seemed tinged with blame and worry. She grumbled, letting out a sigh. Not that long ago, it wasn't rare to see stray humanoid cats cats just wandering throughout the town. But now it was more likely for one to see humanoid cats that were well loved by their owners, since the amount of unfortunate humanoid cats have decreased. There was more of a balance, and owners were quite elated.
ほんと責任感のない連中ばっかりで嫌気もさすけど、でもそいつらのおかげで可愛い娘に会えたのかなって思うとなんとも言えないけどね。
It was a bright and honest laugh. I nodded in agreement. That is true. This must be like how pets find their way back to their owners. I smiled at such an uncharacteristic thought from me.
ああ、そうだった。お姉ちゃんたち、たこ焼きはいかがですか？熱々で大きいタコが入ってて、すっごく美味しいですよ。すっごく美味しいたこ焼き。でもこれから帰ってご飯だから。ご主人が作ってくれるから。
ごめんなさい。Oh fuck, I didn't read. Backlog. Chocolate and Vanilla shoulders dropped downheartedly as they hung their heads and rubbed them from behind. I rubbed them from behind. I took a look at the little takoyaki seller. Okay, 3 orders of takoyaki. Could you do that for me?
たこ焼き3つ？
Her large eyes blinked as she tilted her head in confusion. Yeah, for me, chocolate and vanilla. Could you do that for me?
はい、たこ焼き3つですね。ご主人様、オーダーです。
Fuck.
ご主人様。
It's going to take time to get home and make food after all. Besides, I'm gonna try the takoyaki here too.
そこらも、もうお腹が切なくグーグー泣いてました。すごく嬉しいです。ご主人かっこいい。しぐれがいつもツンデレ実刑はいいものですと言ってるだけのことある。
Wait, what does that mean?
はいはい、じゃあこっちにあるメニュー好きなトッピングと味選んでね。うちの猫が遊んでもらった分サービスさせてもらっちゃうよ。
ありがとうございます。ショコラはマヨネーズかかってるのが好きです。ありがたくいただきます。ペコリ。私は明太子チーズがいい。
My question was completely ignored. Well, I guess I shouldn't let it bother me, huh? I wondered about that as I looked at chocolate and vanilla, happily awaiting their takoyaki in front of the food stand.
Nekopara.
I still can't get a hold of her. Were there guests over today? When I checked the clock, it was past 10 o'clock already. Since then, I tried calling Shigure several times, but I couldn't get through to her. And just like that, it had already gotten this late. I've never gone this long without hearing from Shigure. I really didn't understand my family schedule at all.
ご主人様。 主人様、久しぶりに一緒にお風呂入りましょう。お背中流してあげますから。
Okay, here's where the demonetization might start. I might have to edit videos if there is nudity. I believe there is nudity because one of the tags on the Steam store was hentai. So I might have to just edit those parts to add censor bars and shit. So anyways, let's go.
私たちの発育が良くなってからお風呂入れてくれなくなったご主人のエロ。
You haven't even grown that much. What are you two talking about?
にゃにゃにゃにゃんですか。ショコラとバニラはもう立派なレディー猫だってしぐれちゃんが言ってましたし。その発言がセクハラ。猫の尊厳を踏みにじってる。それにショコラは今くらいがアイデンティティ。
Vanilla, you're the one changing the subject. In any case, don't worry about the bath. You two need to get ready to go home.
にゃ、帰る支度？ショコラの家はご主人様のお家ですけども。ショコラの隣が私の居場所だし。あとご主人かっこいい。なんか妙に男前に見えてきた。
Stop staying in ignorance, you two. Cut that out. The two of them looked my way, about to distract me again. Since Shugure isn't picking up, I'll take you two home. So get ready to leave. Chocolate and Vanilla turned away from me and cast their gazes downward. Returning home on the same day I had moved out seemed to be such a stupid idea that I did hesitate a bit. There was no other way, nor was there time for excuses. I looked towards Chocolate and Vanilla as they hung their heads in silence and continued on. Listen up, you two. I'm going to open up my bakery. I've got no one to rely on, so I don't know how things will turn out. With all that going on, I don't know if I could take care of you two. Get it? I mean, it's already going to be difficult just looking after myself. It was a quiet voice I could barely hear. Chocolate said something with her head down. What did you say? I came closer and asked her to repeat herself.
嫌です。ショコラは絶対に帰りません。そんなこと言うご主人様は嫌いです。
Chocolate, 待って。
私もダットのごとく、いや、脱猫のごとく離脱。
やめて。Vanilla, why are you running away too?
ほらほら、ご主人様、こっちですよ。ショコラはこちらにございます。
It's dangerous, so stop running around. If you fall, you'll get
猫
hurt.
にそんな心配はご不要。人型でも猫は猫。さささ。
Maybe so in Chocolate's case, but aren't you bad with physical activity? Come on, I've got you now, Chocolate.
ご主人様のエッチ、どこ触ってるんですか？ご主人、ショコラの胸もろ触ってる。もうわしづかみ。
I'm not. It's because you two were running around.
にゃーん、隙ありです。
Stop it. You're still going to run? Gee, I've got you, Vanilla.
ちょこちょこちょこちょこちょ。
Chocolate, stop, really, stop.
ナイスアシスト、ショコラ。ささ。
Like I said, stop running. The two of them didn't listen to a word I said as they continued to mess with me. And that was how the first night went. For now on, I'll let you stay, but only for tonight. Wait, I read that wrong. For now, I'll let you stay, but only for tonight. I don't have guest beds or futons, okay? While that was happening, 11 o'clock became midnight. Even if I took them home, everyone was sure to be asleep by now. The one glimmer of hope I had that Shigure would call me back, that didn't happen. So I decided that taking them home tomorrow was my first priority.
もちろんご主人様のベッドで寝ます。私もご主人のベッドで我慢する。
Cleverly, they had brought pajamas. Just how much planning went into their schemes anyway? Really? If you two sleep there, where will I?
一緒に寝てくれないんですか？この子に及んで。ご主人は人の男子なのにお行儀が悪い。順番はご主人、ショコラ、私でいい。にゃー、ご主人様とバニラに囲まれて幸せにゃん。
Don't get ahead of yourself, you two. Single bed for 3 people is too crowded.
じゃあ押しかけたのはショコラたちですし、ここでいいですよ。猫らしく丸まって寝ますし。贅沢は言わない私たち、超けなげ。猫の鏡。
I watched the two of them lie down and curl up on the floor of an empty room without even curtains. That's way too pitiful of a sight to be called praiseworthy.
お引っ越ししたばかりで段ボールたくさんありますよね。お家作ったらあったかいって聞いたし、なんとかなる気がする。
That's something only strange people would say. Where did these cat girls get this information from anyways? Well, they probably read a lot of books and watched TV in Chigure's room. Chocola isn't good with kanji characters, so she only reads picture books though. I could relate to that. Whatever. You two sleep in my bed. It still gets pretty cold at night in April after all.
そしたらご主人様はどうするんですか？ショコラの隣？
I'm going to sleep on a sofa in the living room. The sofa could fit one person, and there's air conditioning in there if I need it.
ダメですよ。それならショコラがソファーで寝ますから。ご主人様はバニラと一緒にお布団で寝てください。私こそソファーのが落ち着く。ショコラとご主人でベッド使えばいい。
They quickly moved towards me like lions catching their prey. I placed both my heads on their heads and spoke in a clear and stern voice. Listen up. I will sleep on a sofa, and you two will sleep in my bed. Those are your master's orders. Understood?
ご主人様。ご主人。
I said it like that deliberately. The two of them looked as if they wanted to say something, but they hesitated. They lowered their heads apologetically.
ごめんなさい。ご主人様。ごめんなさい。ご主人。
They must have mustered out. They mustered out. They mustered out. They looked like they were on the verge of tears. Their obedience had the exact opposite effect. The exact opposite of the effect I expected. It filled me with guilt. I felt a prickling sensation in my chest. That pain left me as I sighed and rubbed the two of them on the head. Come on, get going.
はい。
Good night. If anything happens, call for me right away.
はい。おやすみなさい。ご主人様。おやすみ、ご主人。
I gently rubbed the heads of the two dispirited cat girls once more. See you in the morning. With that with that said, I turned off the lights in the room.
ご主人様、本当にごめんなさい。迷惑をかけてしまって。
Her vanishing voice echoed slightly in the darkened room. The pain from my heart from before became even sharper. I swallowed that pain and replied cheerfully. It's okay if it's just for one night. Don't worry about it.
ご主人様。
Now then, go to sleep. I really shouldn't act on my emotions, huh? I laid down on the sofa. I sighed while staring at the ceiling. If I gave in to my emotions, the result would just lead to more sadness. If I used kind or hopeful words, they would all end up as lies. Pretty much uncool for me to be so passive like this. While I continued to pile on insults and make excuses for my actions, I closed my eyes and waited for sleep to take over.
Nekopara. その件に関しては、ショコラとバニラの意思を尊重したいと思います。ショコラとバニラがちゃんと納得したら迎えに行きますので。
Was what she told me when I finally was finally able to get in touch with her. Without any margin of negotiation space, I was struck down. But Shigure, even if you say that, I don't think chocolate and vanilla
と
will.
ころで兄様、この妹目に今朝の愛のささやきを。
Don't make it sound like it's a jelly ritual or something. In any case,
すみません。お父様から呼ばれましたので失礼いたします。愛してますわ兄様。ではまた。
待って、Shigure. As the ruthless electronic buzz of the dropped call echoed, I stared at my cell phone. And here, I thought that I could sort all this out. If I could just talk to Shigure.
朝ごはんおいしいですね。ご主人様のご飯はいつでもおいしいですにゃ。ショコラ、ほっぺにケチャップついてる。芸術的に可愛い。舐めてあげちゃう。ペロペロ。
The cat girls in question were happily stuffing themselves with sandwiches. These sandwiches incidentally contained tomato, cheese, and lettuce, with an over-easy fried egg tucked inside all of that. It was a simple meal. Breakfast was pretty much like this. You two are definitely going home today, okay?
ご主人様はショコラたちといるの楽しくないですか？ショコラは楽しいですよ。もうそれは今世紀最大級に。昨晩はご主人だって結構お楽しみだったくせに。
Stop it with the deliberately misleading words. I sat at their happy-go-lucky mindset. I took the opportunity to fill their empty glasses with milk. Hold on, I need to drink something. My throat's getting fucking dry from talking. Green tea is fucking good. The eating habits of cat girls were pretty much the same as those of humanoids. The eating habits of cat girls were pretty much the same as those of humans. So that part was straightforward. Of course, what they liked and disliked depended on each individual cat girl. In the end, I wasn't able to get everything put away I wasn't able to get everything put away yesterday. Today, I really do have to start getting ready for the bakery's opening too. That's why I don't have time to relax and play with you two. Be good girls and go home. I said that to them with a sandwich in my hand.
ここにショコラがいたらご主人様は迷惑ですか？
She put her sandwich down on her plate. And just like yesterday, she looked at me with upturned eyes. Yeah, it's a problem. I answered her clearly.
そうですか。
Her shoulders drooped more than before. The ears that sat atop of her head drooped downheartedly too.
ショコラ。
Unable to make fun of anything, Vanilla could only look on with concern. The pain from last night pricked at my heart again. I tilted the already cooled coffee cup. As my emotions dulled, unimpeded by my judgment.
それでもショコラはご主人様のところにいたいです。
Her usually always perky ears were drooping. Chocola was speaking clearly under her own volition.
ショコラがいるなら私もここにいる。私もここにいたいと思う。
Vanilla's blank expression did not change. However, she showed me her strong determination. Undertale. I don't remember Chocola or Vanilla ever being this disobedient. That thought stayed at the back of my mind. But if I was going to be swayed by that, then I wouldn't have said this. That understood? Hmm?
ご注文ありがとうございます。ロイヤルウッドです。ご注文いただきましたティーセットの配達にお伺いしました。ではこちらお店の中に運んじゃいますね。こちらの段ボールで全部ですね。では間違いなければ受領書にサインをいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
Smiled brightly and brought over the invoice along with the pen. Okay, let's see. I looked over the sales invoice I received once more. Somehow it doesn't look like what I ordered.
本当ですか？それは品物が違うということでしょうか？
No, the stuff I ordered is here too, but I looked at the pile of boxes inside the bakery. Inside my tiny bakery was a mountain of boxes. A mountain! It was as if the inside of the bakery had become completely made out of boxes. As you can see, we don't need this much tableware inside the bakery.
すみません。すぐに本社に確認しますので、少々お待ちいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
Hi.
大変申し訳ございません。こちらのミスで別の注文書と混じってしまっていたようでして、水無月様の方もすぐにご入りようと思いますので、もしよろしければご注文分の食器を受け取っていただければと思うのですが。
Accept this order. Huh? From all this? Mountain of cardboard boxes towered over everything. I was at a loss for words. Every box was of equal size. I wouldn't know what was inside each of them without opening them up. On top of that, looking at the sales invoice, I could see that they all contained expensive tea sets and tableware. If I accepted it all, it would be a lot of work to deal with all the new items. There's still things that need doing in advance of my bakery's opening, so I don't mind accepting these. But it's going to take a while to deal with all of this.
もちろん私もお手伝いさせていただきますので、私も次の配達に行かないといけないですし。
Look, you don't need to put all this pressure on me. From looks of it, it would take 2 hours or more. But to have it redelivered would take double the effort too. That's right, I have a lifeline.
にゃですか？
猫ちゃんたち本当に助かりました。ありがとうございます。本当にありがとうございます。では私はこれで失礼させていただきますね。
I'm exhausted. I glanced at the table where we'd finished organizing. I lowered myself onto a chair and relaxed my shoulders.
ご主人様、冷たいお茶です。どうぞ。
Arigato, chocolate. Don't mind if I do. I downed the cold tea in one gulp. Somehow or another, the light meal tableware had arrived. Soon, I really had to get the bakery ready for its opening. I did say I needed any help I could find. And it really did help this time. Wait. And I really did need help this time.
褒めて褒めて褒めて褒めて。
I couldn't sense the praise me aura coming off from Chocolate. She had a wide smile on her face and was in a ready stance to receive my approval. Arigato. I couldn't have done it without you two.
ご主人様に褒めてもらっちゃったよ、バニラ。うんうん。柱の陰から見守ってた甲斐があったね。よしよし。ショコラ、ご主人様の役に立てましたね。やっぱりご主人様一人じゃお仕事大変だと思うんです。
ね。
うんうん。猫の手でも存分に役に立つ。私たちがいなかったらまだ仕分け続行中だと思う。
Hey, you two are getting a bit close. They leaned towards me for emphasis. Is it true that without you two around, this would have been a real problem? It is true that without you two around, this would have been a real problem. But that's a different issue other than the one from before. You two have to go back home. Besides, it's not like I could ask you two to work for me or anything, okay?
そうですか。やっぱりダメですか。
Her shoulders drooped along with her ears and tail. The enthusiasm she showed earlier had completely disappeared. She sighed deeply and looked disheartened.
お掃除でもしてきます。せっかくですし。
She trudged up to the second floor, still dejected. Chocola isn't an idiot. I knew she was pushing herself to be bright and full of energy. But even so, this wasn't something I was easily going to change my mind about. It was all the more with how much she cared for me.
ご主人、私たちがいたらそんなに迷惑？悪い子。
She spoke quietly in her usual way. Vanilla tilted her head as she asked that question. You two aren't bad cat girls, and that's why I can't have you stay here.
悪い子じゃないのにダメなの？
It's because you two are good cat girls that I can't allow it.
うーん。
She blinked as she took in my words. It was almost as if she was trying to peer inside my heart. She stared directly at me, long and hard.
人って難しい。猫にはそういうのはわからない。好きならそばにいたい。少なくとも私はそう思うけど。
Vanilla.
ショコラのところ行ってくる。
With those words, she went upstairs. The sound of her small footsteps slowly disappeared, and before long, I could not hear them anymore. Humans are hard to understand, huh? Inside the bakery, now devoid of anyone but myself, I repeated those words she just had said to me. Now that I think about it, that's a pretty inconsistent way of thinking, isn't it? Cat girls do not understand that. Having heard that said aloud, I began to understand what it really meant. It must have been pretty nice to live the simple life of a cat girl, huh? I pondered as I looked at the bakery asphyxiated. Fuck. I pondered as I looked at the name of the bakery affixed to the window. Yeah, asphyxiated. With a bitter smile, I began to clean up the tea sets that had arrived earlier.
Nekopara。あれ、今日はあのたこ焼き屋がいない。
Just like yesterday, we took a walk along through the park in the evening. However, the food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day I decided to take the two cat girls home. I had also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of the time, I went to do shopping before Shigure got home.
ごめんバニラ。なんだっけ、また旅だっけ。だいたいそんな感じ。
That isn't the right word at all. Chocola, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit?
あ、はい、少しだけ。
No cat drugs. Not allowed to do cat drugs. Even though I give my cats fucking drugs all the time. My one cat fucking loves it. My other cat fucking loves it. And I just got a new fucking cat. It was a little kitten that we found outside my neighbor's house. My neighbor couldn't took it, but we decided to take it because why the fuck not? I can't bear the fact of just seeing a helpless little kitten outside all alone. And this music is making it even more fucking depressing. But anyways, like we took the cat in, and now the new addition to the family. I haven't given him catnip yet. Wonder what it would be like. He is a hyper fucking little shit. Like, he's always looking for attention and shit. My other cat, he's like fucking, I don't know how old, like 12 or something. And my other cat is fucking, I don't know, like 5. And this one is about, the one we just got, looks to be about like 6 months. It's like pretty young. But anyways, back to the game.
でも大丈夫ですから。心配かけてごめんなさい、ご主人様。
There's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit?
じゃあ私、何 か飲み物買ってくる。
Thanks. Something for everyone, okay?
了解。任された。
I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocola.
うん
The constant sea breeze rustled in the trees in the park. I like this. I don't have to add music. All that could be heard throughout the empty park. All that could be heard throughout the empty park. Throughout the empty park were where the quiet sounds of nature. Fucking hell, I can't fucking read. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocola. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly.
ショコラ、帰ります。
Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I had heard her or not. If so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocola's head.
たまにはご主人様に電話してもいいですか？
Yeah.
またご主人様のところに遊びに来てもいいですか？
Yeah.
ご主人様はショコラたちのことはちゃんと毎日思い出してくれますか？ショコラは離れててもご主人様って呼んでてもいいですか？
Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. She stifled her sobbing, and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all of my strength. Yeah, of course I will.
ご主人様、ごめんなさい。主人様。
I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could.
やっぱりご主人様は優しいですね。
I don't really think I'm kind at all.
ご主人様、前も同じこと言ってましたから。
Before? Chocola closed her eyes and smiled.
覚えてますか？ショコラとバニラをご主人様としぐれちゃんが連れて帰ってくれた時のこと。
Of course I remember that. Fuck! It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocola and Vanilla were huddled together, crying by the side of the road. They were still so young that they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies. I took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget the important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home.
あの時は知らないお家で知らない人と猫ばっかりで怖くて。
You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shigure.
はい、とっても心配かけちゃいました。
I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past.
ショコラとバニラが熱を出した時のことも覚えてますか？
I definitely do remember that. It was a few days before we brought Chocola and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd occasionally drink some water, and as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain.
あの時は夜中で誰にも気づいてもらえなくて、とにかく苦しくて辛くて寂しくて、声も出せなくて、手も足も全然動かなくて、助けて、誰か助けてって思いながらただただ泣いてたんです。そしたら
It's alright. I'm with you too, so don't worry.
ご主人様が大きくてあったかい手で撫でてくれたんですよね。ずっとそばで大丈夫大丈夫って言い続けてくれて、ショコラとバニラのこと撫で続けてくれてました。朝になって病院に行くまでずっとそばにいてくれて、不安で心細かったのが全部嘘だったみたいに。あの時も同じこと言ってました。俺は別に優しくなんかないって。でもショコラたちはご主人様が助けてくれなかったらここにいなかったです。あの時ご主人様がそばにいてくれなかったら誰も信じられないままでした。ご主人様のおかげでご飯も食べれるようになりました。しぐれちゃんともみんなとも仲良くなれました。だからあの時からショコラのご主人様はご主人様になったんです。ショコラはそれからずっと優しいご主人様のことが大好きなんですよ。
I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could. She smiled all she could before me.
だからショコラはご主人様がいなくなっちゃうって聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくて、どうしても一緒に行きたくて、しぐれちゃんにお願いをしたんです。
She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm. There was also a bit of undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocola. I was the one she was saying all this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name.
お金のこととか難しいことはやっぱり猫にはわからないです。でもやっぱりショコラはご主人様のそばにいたいんです。ご主人様が辛くて大変そうなのなんとなくわかります。本当になんとなくですけど、お掃除でもお洗濯でもお料理でもショコラがお手伝いできることは何でもしますから。今すぐにはできなくても絶対にちゃんとできるようになりますから。だからもう一度だけお願いしちゃダメでしょうか。ショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。
Chocola voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocola, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my inner thoughts, which were ready to overflow. She yearned me so earnestly. For her to so innocently believe in me, there should be no reason for me to be against it. That day, Chocola and Vanilla became an important part of my family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for just leaving home like that. I didn't want to get my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness, or have them experience any unnecessary hardships because of me. You two are important to me after all.
私たちは猫だから自分に素直なだけ。
My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point. She looked straight at me as she sat at Chocolo's side.
私なら楽しいことならショコラと一緒がいい。たとえ辛いことでもショコラと一緒にいたいと思う。だって一緒にいれないことの方が寂しくて辛いから。
Vanilla.
本当に好きなら迷惑かけたって一緒にいたい。それでも一緒にいたいものだと思う。私たちが幸せかどうかなんていくらご主人でも決めつけるのは違うと思うよ。それに大事な人が大変ならなおさらそばにいたい。何ができるかはわからないけど、でも辛い時にそばで励ますことくらいできるよ。
It was as if her gentle, warm, soft smile had become setting sun. These uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and seeped into my heart.
だからきっとしぐれも私たちがご主人のところについていくのを許してくれた。しぐれはご主人と一緒に行くことはできないから代わりにお願いって。だからご主人が本当にショコラのことを思うなら一緒にいるべきだと思う。
There was not even faintest bit of hesitation. They were such honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate Chocolate and Vanilla's happiness? Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty.
たとえ何不自由のない暮らしでもご主人様がいないのは嫌なんです。いくら大変でもショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。だからお願いします。ご主人様のそばにいさせてください。ここがショコラがいたい場所なんです。
She was on the verge of tears, but Chocola's face lit up. They were nothing but absolutely pure, genuine words. Humans are really at a loss for words when it comes to cat girls, huh? Saying no to their words was not really something I could bring myself to do.
ご主人様、
それって
It won't be like it was back at home. You can't just live here however you like, got it?
大丈夫です。ご主人様がいるだけでショコラは幸せですから。
やれやれ、ついにご主人陥落。いやよいやよも好きのうちだね。
The dreary moment seemed to be blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one that didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all this from their perspective, it was very simple. Although I thought it was all still so immature, perhaps cat girls were more human than humans were when it came to honesty. From here on out, we need to do our best all together.
毎晩大トレじゃなくて大丈夫です。たまにでいいです。
お肉もA4でいい。松阪牛なら脂身最高。
Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Even if the road ahead of us is uncertain. I lovingly rubbed their heads. disheveling their hair. Alright, why don't we head back to the shopping district then?
なんでですか？お買い物はもう終わったんですよね。
We have to buy the shampoo you guys like, don't we?
おー、ご主人かっこいい。ついでに松坂牛も買おう。
Well, today is a celebration, so why not?
やったー！お祝いパーティーですね。
ご主人太っ腹。さすがは私たちのご主人。
Just this once, okay? This was the beginning to a bright, new life. And together with the happy and high-spirited Chocolat and Vanilla, we took the first steps towards it. A game has an anime opening? That's lit. Alright, I think that's a good place to leave off. So, next episode will be this part.
We in rotation and now it be blazing. My eyes feeling Asian and now I'm stargazing. Mondays and Tuesdays and that's how we choosing. You won't catch me snoozing, you'll just catch me cruising. We in rotation and now we be blazing. My eyes feeling Asian and now I'm stargazing. Mondays and Tuesdays and that's how we choosing. You won't catch me